Aquaproof 7-in-1. High-performing waterproofing paint, Nippon Paint. The coatings expert.
We are doing the right thing in the right path. President is leading. He is taking some very difficult decisions, which is not very popular all the time. But he is looking at not politics. He is not looking at his future. He is looking at Sri Lanka's future as a sustainable economy.
Foreign Affairs Minister Ali Sabry announced that Sri Lanka's successful debt sustainability process with bilateral creditors will provide the country with an estimated advantage of approximately $17 billion. Addressing a media briefing at the Presidential Media Center, Minister Sabry emphasized that this achievement will significantly bolster Sri Lanka's position in negotiating international sovereign debts. The successful navigation through our debt sustainability process with bilateral creditors has opened up a substantial advantage for Sri Lanka. We are now looking at a potential benefit of around $17 billion, which is a crucial step forward for our economy, Minister Sabry stated. He further explained that this advantageous position will facilitate more favorable terms and successful negotiations regarding international sovereign debts, thereby enhancing the country's economic stability and growth prospects.
Sri Lanka announced debt service, a moratorium on servicing on foreign debt in April 2022. I happened to be the finance minister then. Some people interpret that we claim for bankruptcy. I don't agree with it. I didn't agree then. I don't agree now. That is because if you are bankrupt, you will not pay anyone. You can't pay local debt. You can't pay multilateral debt. It's like it's a company in Sri Lanka. If you bankrupt, no, it's not an ongoing concern. You close your shop, go for auction, get a receiver, and then sell everything and distribute the proceeds. Sri Lanka was never that. Sri Lanka decided strategically certain type of debt we will not pay. Other debt we will continue to pay. What was the debt we will continue to pay? We continue to pay the multilateral debts, IMF, World Bank, ADB, AIIB. We continue to service everything with the Sri Lankan, the local currency ones. But we decided we will not pay until we get our debt servicing ability back. A certain kind of debt, that is bilaterals and the sovereign bonds. That's why we suspended those two. Now, if you suspend that, what is the next course of action? You need to have a proper debt sustainable analysis. We call it a DSA. That is, you have to look at all the parameters for the future and see that what should be your income, what should be the portion of that income goes for your capital expenditure, your recurrent expenditure, your payment of interest, your payment of capital, of the interest what you take. And then, can you prepare or you prepare, me prepare? No, we all get together and prepare that. Who helped Sri Lanka for that? IMF. IMF came out with something called the IMF Debt Sustainable Analysis, according to which they have given us parameters. This should be the total amount of Sri Lankan debt as a percentage of GDP by 2028. How many percentage of which should be allocated for service of interest, recurrent expenditure. So, we work very diligently with the IMF and we appointed two of the most world's famous professional firms, Lazard to carry out financial advising part and Clifford Chance to carry out our legal advising job. So with their advice, a group of professionals from the Monetary Board, Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance diligently negotiated this for a long period of time. And this has three components and three stages. Firstly, the debt restructuring of the local debt, which we have done and dusted last year. It went before the Parliament and Parliament approved it. Second portion is the bilateral debt, which we have concluded now. We are in the process of formalizing it with each country signing it. And I'm sure today or tomorrow we'll conclude with everyone else. All the major players have done it. Then going forward, we have one more. Negotiations are ongoing on the sovereign debt restructuring, that bond restructuring. That's at an advanced stage. We are very hopeful that it has to be also in line with the IMF debt sustainable analysis. Nothing beyond that. They will not approve it. Without IMF approving it, we will also not agree on that. So therefore, nothing to worry on that. Ultimately, we will achieve the target what we want to achieve on that. So if all that happens, Sri Lanka will regain its ability and start repaying the debts. So this is a great steps towards that. And I know the whole world is applauding for diligently doing it within a period of 2 years of time. But in local terms, I know people come out with various explanations to find fault with it. That's okay. That's how politics is. Otherwise, there is no fun also. Opposition is there to criticize it. But we have now achieved great milestones. 3 things. One is done and dusted last year, that is local debt restructuring. Second part is this we have now. We will today at the parliament in the morning, we decided that this matter will be debated on the 2nd and 3rd of this month. All the documents will be presented there. So you will have all the materials and everything, because nothing to hide here. This is all done in very transparent manner. Even if you go now online, you can find this documentation. So therefore, as far as we are concerned, this has been done in line with the IMF debt sustainable analysis. Severe and sufficient relief had been brought in by this. By the time we restarted payment in 2028, Sri Lanka will have achieved that ability to pay without going for further default. And ideally, what we want is to continue to have, to reduce our total debt from 114% in 2022 to 95% of the GDP. And the foreign interest payments and loan payments, which was 9.2% in 2022, to be brought down to 4.5% by 2028. And we are very, very confident that if this program is pursued, we can get that done. That's what matters. On the other hand, some of the people were contesting and questioning about Sri Lanka's economic progress. I would also would like to mention that throughout the history of Sri Lankan independence, last 76 years, only 5 times, other than the 2023, that Sri Lanka has recorded a primary account surplus. You know that primary account surplus is your income is over the expenses other than loan payments, interest and the capital. So that's the first step of getting back to normalcy. So we have done that in 2023 with all these difficult situations. Can you imagine from 21, 22 having gone through that, in 24 this year for us to get by based on the 23 figures, primary account surplus. That shows we are doing the right thing in the right path. President is leading. He is taking some very difficult decisions, which is not very popular all the time, but he is looking at not politics, he is not looking at his future, he is looking at Sri Lanka's future as a sustainable economy. Therefore, I think we are in the right path. That is why I invite you to please again refer to what IMF said yesterday. We have welcomed this agreement, saying that it is in line and a major milestone to restore the debt sustainability for Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. If you have any other questions or clarification what you want. And the repayments will start in 2028. And we did not, in fact, ask for a haircut from the bilateral. Generally, they don't give the haircut. We only asked for a postponement of payment and reduction of coupon. Both those things we have received. So therefore, it is in, that's why I told that it is in line with the IMF debt sustainability analysis, and therefore we are very confident that by the time we conclude this, as well as the upcoming sovereign debt restructuring, we could continue to confidently service these loans without further defaulting never.
For more latest news, subscribe to FTTV.